Entrepreneurially Thinking is a presentation of BioSTL and CET, Center for Emerging Technologies, with Rare Gem Productions, changing the way you view new ventures, including you on the pathway to success with your business in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. Here's your hosts, Cheryl and Christy. Now let's get thinking entrepreneurially.
Welcome back to the Entrepreneurially Thinking podcast. Our goal is to engage your entrepreneurial mindset and create pathways for business success in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. I'm Christy-Maxfield.
And I'm Dr. Cheryl-Watkins-Moore, the lead on our Bioscience Inclusion Initiative with BioSTL. Hey, Christy girl.
How are you?
I am doing well.
Excellent.
It's almost, we jump from winter to a bit of spring in St. Louis to summer.
If our listeners are in St. Louis, they know that that's typical.
Right.
If they're not, then we'll school them on the fact that you can have 4 seasons in one day. And for us, we pretty much went from needing a blanket at night to needing the air conditioning in the morning.
Exactly.
So, but that means we're rocking and rolling through our 6th season, and we have amazing guests who are helping us make a real impact on our community, helping bring out the stories that don't often get told and make sure people are connected to the resources that are available. So we want to thank our founding sponsors, BioSTL and CET, for their renewed and continuing support. Without them, we wouldn't be able to be here and talking with you, and we certainly wouldn't be able to highlight the wonderful guests who join us on a regular basis. So thank you so much to our sponsors. Please check out their websites. Make sure you know what's going on with them. Cheryl, as the bio lead, I always love when you do your title. I feel like I'm somehow closer to a scientific background than I will ever have been in my life. But she's got lots of stuff going on, so you got to get on the email lists and make sure that you know when the next Square One program is, when the Vision Conference is going to be, all the things that are going on.
Great stuff going on in our community. Yes.
Awesome.
Stay
connected.
Tapped in. Yes. Connected, tapped in. Right.
We're going to find all different ways to say, be with us whenever you can be with us, right? And so share our new episodes each week. Give a shout out to your favorite guests. You know, you can invite 5 friends to subscribe to the podcast.
10.
Okay,
15.
10. We like big stretch goals. So wherever you find us, iTunes, Spreaker, Facebook, LinkedIn, as Gary Vaynerchuk says, the future is voice, so shout it out.
Shout it out. Well, Donatella Versace also shouted out something that said, plus-size women shouldn't think of themselves as a size.
That's easy for her to say. She's a little skinny, isn't she?
Right.
I'm just putting it out there.
But what she said is they should think of themselves as women with rich goals in life. Size doesn't mean really anything. You can carry your size with pride and dress in a way that you like. I love that.
That is wonderful.
That's a great...
Because as a curvy woman...
Yes. As we both are curvy women.
Yes. Because we share a brain, right? And we've talked about the body thing. So you're not getting rid of the curve.
Exactly. And being curvy comes with its myriad of challenges, as we know. And those include the emotional effects of simply getting dressed in the morning
feeling
on
good
any
about
given
yourself.
day. Yes. And not just getting dressed, but going to try on clothes.
Well, yeah. And then there's all the different kinds of clothes. And then when you get a special occasion like Shoes Wedding.
Oh, my
recently,
God.
Right?
Yes.
Then you got to look special and special pretty.
Absolutely.
Then you have to make sure your formal dress is ready, too.
There you go. There you go. So when we come back, we're going to be speaking with an innovator who founded a company that takes the tears out of shopping for life's special occasions for plus-size women.
That's so awesome.
I am so excited.
We may have found our new stylist.
Yes. And plus size ladies, you know, they say it's 14, size 14 now. We are nowhere near 40, but we're still considered a plus size woman, right?
Yep.
The founder of Sydney's Closet is with us today. Phyllis Librach joins us after the break. So stay listening.
CET, the Center for Emerging Technologies, is a proud founding sponsor of this Entrepreneurially Thinking podcast. We want you to know all about the great things they are up to. Square One offers 2 training options. Square One Ignite, a 4-week program created to help founders quick start their business model validation process. Or Square One Boot Camp, an in-depth 10-week, 50-hour program that combines formal instruction with hands-on learning, networking, and mentoring. To learn more about Square One Boot Camp or Square One Ignite, visit CETSTL.com. And for your renewed and continuing support, CET, we say thank you.
My name is Phyllis Librach. I'm the president and founder of Sydney's Closet. What thinking entrepreneurial means to me is that you constantly must be resourceful. You need to tap all the talents you have, and if you don't have the talents you need, go learn them. You must be creative and resilient, and also think of the future and growth. It's very easy to get bogged down in executing the present. So keep the eye on the future. And you must be confident enough. You're going to need to surround yourself with people that have different skill sets than you do. And in the end, you need to have the humility to make mistakes and learn from them.
So as Cheryl said, joining us today is Phyllis Librach. She's president and founder of Sydney's Closet. Sydney's Closet designs and manufactures plus-size special occasion dresses for women ages 16 to 60 who wear sizes 14 to 40.
Absolutely.
Which means that pretty much for any woman who needs an occasional dress, we have the place for you. So if it's a wedding, an evening, a prom dress, evening gown, Sydney's Closet designs and manufactures plus-size special occasion dresses for women ages 16 to 60 who wear sizes 14 to 40. That covers a whole spectrum of women, all of whom deserve to feel beautiful, especially when they're on a special occasion.
And when you go into those doggone stores, when you say size 14...
It's hard to get there, so I can't imagine how hard it is to get a 40. They're 14,
but they're actually a size 6.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation. So today we're going to stay focused on talking with Phyllis about how Sydney's Closet brings the styles you need for your wedding, your evening dress, your prom collections, all online and in bridal salons and dress shops across America, including international locations in Canada, the UK, Germany, Poland, Australia, Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. So pretty much wherever you need to look great, Sydney's Closet has you covered.
And
thanks for the lead-in. The company's fashion-forward designs have been featured in the Oprah Magazine.
Yes.
Teen Prom 17, Dr. Phil, The Today Show, all over the place. There's even a full-figured fashion week where Sydney's Closet was named Retailer of the Year in 2015. So, Phyllis, thank you for joining us.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. It's a lot of fun already.
Well, like we said, we love to have a conversation, and in talking with you, we can open up worlds for our listeners.
Yes.
People who, just might be dreaming of doing the same thing or frankly have a dream totally different, but hearing your story inspires them. So thank you for making time to be with us.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to start off by asking, you became a successful entrepreneur after being a successful journalist. So I'd love to know a little bit about that story. Yeah. And in particular, what prompted you to trade in your deadlines for hemlines?
Yeah, what's the backstory?
The backstory is fairly interesting and fairly typical for entrepreneurs.
So tell us.
I saw a need. And how did I...
Oh, I love that. You saw a need.
Usually some of our entrepreneurs, they work backwards. They have solutions without needs. Okay, but this is great.
Well, I saw a need, and it was pretty close to home. I went shopping for my curvy teenage daughter here in St. Louis to find a prom dress.
Oh, I've been there.
And we couldn't find anything. We went to the limits of suburbia. We went downtown. We went everywhere we could think. And everywhere we stood in dressing rooms, she cried.
Yes.
I cried.
Yes.
I can picture one of the dresses I bought for like a junior prom thing, and I was unhappy in it from the moment. It was just awful being a curvy teenager.
It was just such a nightmare for both of us. And, it broke my heart.
Yeah.
It broke my heart. So in the end, we bought a dress at a major department store here. And really, all we ended up buying was material. I took it to a dressmaker. We tried to make it look young.
Yeah.
It was more a dress for somebody.
Older.
That's
what you find.
It was really a granny dress. And here was this hip, cool teenager, and all she wanted was a trendy prom dress.
Of course, which she deserves, no matter what her body size or shape.
Exactly. That flattered her figure and fit her lifestyle.
Yes.
So we take it to a dressmaker who rips it apart, and we end up with some concoction that she went with. It looked a little homemade, and it didn't have what I call the cool factor.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was a reporter at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and, very busy, and I kind of parked this personal experience in the back of my mind, and it kept gnawing at me. It was just bothering me as a mom, not as a journalist. So I started doing the quantitative research and the qualitative research, and I'm looking at these numbers and reading these reports and saying, oh my God, we're not alone.
Oh, the market's huge.
It is.
There's millions of moms and teenagers like us, and there's millions of women, not
Absolutely.
just that are standing in our shoes, just having nightmares when they go shopping.
And it was so funny when we mentioned this, or I mentioned this, I'd heard this, that the average size of an American woman is a size 14. But they make you think that is just like, oh my God, you are just
off the charts.
Off the charts.
It's so unrealistic and it's so unfair.
Yeah.
First of all, the sizing's all over the place.
Yes.
There is no consistency in the apparel industry, which is worth another segment.
Exactly.
So if you're spotted in need, uniformity and sizing might be one place to make your mark.
Right. Which you could do with technology. Just hint.
Exactly.
So I looked at the data and I went home and talked to my husband who has an MBA. And I said, Matt, I think there's a business here. It's basic supply and demand. Look at these numbers. 2/3 of all American women wear a size 14 or larger.
There you go.
And the data on teens is a little harder to get, but it's anywhere from, say, about 25%, 1 in every 4 teens, and that number's climbing, wears a larger size.
Yeah.
So I said, maybe there's a business here. So very naive, we started a website to cater to teenage girls shopping for cool clothes. Well, the website went up, and it wasn't up a day before all people kept asking us about was dressy dresses. And I said, look, it's the same experience we had. You can always find a T-shirt.
Right.
You can get jeans.
Right.
You can get shorts or tops. But when it comes time
for that special occasion.
Exactly, to feel beautiful and look beautiful, the struggle's the same struggle we had. So very quickly, we modified the business plan.
Pivot.
360-degree pivot, and right away we just focused on dresses. And we focused on prom dresses. And the minute we did that, we watched our success soar.
Wow.
Because it was the focus, which I think is very common for entrepreneurs. You have a grand scheme and you have a big picture and you have this wide swath that you want to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to narrow it and focus on it.
I couldn't have scripted that better myself. You need to narrow and focus.
I was going to say, you need to take this tape, Christy.
Yes.
And steal it. Say it
Phyllis
to many
is
of your...
preaching.
Right,
you need to listen.
There you go. Absolutely.
So we began to focus, and for the first 6 or 7 years...
When did you start this?
We started... I was working, I also did what many entrepreneurs did. I didn't leave my full-time job.
Absolutely, which we always say too.
Important strategy.
So I live in the suburbs and I work downtown. And what I did was I managed to pull the ever-popular 6:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. shift at the Post. So I would work all day on the business, and then I would go down and work at the paper at night. And on the way down, I'd stop at the UPS operation. On Jefferson, not far from where we're sitting here, and I would drop off the customers' boxes, ship them, and then go down. And some nights I was rushing so much to get to work on time, I'd leave my credit card. So the staff at UPS got to know me, and they would call the newsroom and say, she left her credit card again.
We'll hold it for her tomorrow when she brings the next set of packages.
Right.
So I did that for a couple of years, and it was tiring. I do have a family. I had 2 children, and my husband traveled at the time. And when I saw, I had to make a choice, which also is not uncommon. If this business was going to make it, I couldn't hold 2 jobs.
Right.
Something had to go.
Right.
About the same time, the newspaper industry was changing. The internet was starting to make inroads. The print, as I knew and loved it, was about to end.
Yeah.
And so it was a good time to help me make that decision. I think I wouldn't have before the internet.
No, that's really important. I mean, the right circumstances have to come together, right? To figure out that inflection point. Were you actually doing your own design and manufacturing?
No, it's very interesting. The first 6 years, I was going to L.A. and New York to buy manufacturers' designs. I was basically a buyer.
Okay.
And I would go to trade shows and I would go to showrooms and I would pick designs and then I would buy them. And by that time, we had a warehouse in Maryland Heights where we're still headquartered. And we would store the merchandise there, sell it online, and ship it from there.
Okay.
So it was everybody else's designs.
So you were a distributor then, basically.
We were basically a distributor. And then there came this aha moment.
Tell us about that.
So Queen Latifah was on an award show, and she wore the most magnificent turquoise blue satin curve-hugging gown. She looked exquisite.
She always looks amazing.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
But she really stood out that night. The color was incredible on her. It was almost the color of the Caribbean Sea. It was just beautiful. So there was a manufacturer I was buying from, and they were based in New York, and their marketing strategy was they would, quote, knock off a dress. So they would watch the red carpet, and then the next morning they'd be on one of the morning shows, and they'd say, you know, we're making it for the masses. So they would make the Queen Latifah dress. I was so excited. I saw it on one of the morning shows. I called them up. I put in a purchase order for 120 dresses, which in plus size was a very nice purchase order. And they say, we can't take your purchase order. I said, what's the matter? They said, we're not making it in plus size. I said, excuse me?
Queen Latifah wore the dress.
Let me get this right.
Right.
You are making a dress based on a beautiful, beautiful plus-size celebrity, and you're going to cut it off a size 12? And they said, yes.
Are you? Oh, wow.
I got off the phone, and I got mad. I got really angry. And I said, this isn't fair. So I said, I'm going to make it myself.
I like that inspiration.
So it's a pretty big gap between saying that and actually making it.
I was going to say, do you know how to sew?
Yeah, no, but wait, but produce.
But really, we're talking about her website's already at scale. She got to do more than just sew.
You wouldn't have enough time.
We have one dress.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how are you going to do this?
Well, I had the good fortune to have been featured by Forbes.com as an entrepreneur. And after that feature, I got a call from a young man who is a Chinese national who had just completed his master's in business at the University of Miami in Coral Gables. And he said to me, I read your story. I was very impressed. He said, if you ever decide to manufacture, let me know. My cousin has a factory in China. I'd love to help you.
Oh, my gosh.
So
those are wonderful things.
I was going to say, this is all fortuitous. I mean, this all came together very nicely. Yes. So
I had banked his information and filed it away, which I really meant. No business card is not important.
That's right.
So I called him up and I said, I'm ready.
That's awesome.
And that's how we started.
And how long from I'm ready to Queen Latifah's dress is available at Sydney's Closet?
It was about 6 months.
That's still
It's very fast.
Remarkable.
Yeah, because in fashion fades really quickly too. So you were able to capitalize
We
on
capitalized it, and it was so successful that we first did it in a color very similar to the turquoise she did. Then we did it in red and sold out both. And to this day, if you come to my office, hanging on the door is that dress.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
It was a pivotal point for you.
Absolutely. And every entrepreneur has that pivotal point. I think it's impossible to have a successful business and not have the ha-ha moment.
That's right.
You know, it's just impossible to get there without that. Some of it's luck, you know, and fortune and timing, and some of it's just determination.
And you were determined. I love when you said, you know what, you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it.
And we're going to come back and talk more about that determination in just a minute.
There you go.
BioSTL is a proud founding sponsor of this entrepreneurially thinking podcast, and we want you to know all about the great things they are up to. BioSTL Fundamentals is an entrepreneur development program targeted to founders wishing to start a company in the bioscience space, including therapeutic products, diagnostic products, medical devices, animal and crop agriculture products, and research tools. Participants earn resources by achieving specific coaching goals, skills. You can learn more about BioSTL fundamentals by visiting biostl.org. And for your renewed and continuing support, BioSTL, we say thank you.
So, Phyllis, we've talked a lot about determination, but you made really clear that, your overnight success, so to speak, was really years and years in the making. So as you took that journey, one of the things we noted when we introduced you was all the media coverage and the international scope of the work that you do. How has, or perhaps it hasn't, but how does your journalism background fit in and influence you and shape what you do as an entrepreneur? Because that's a really different lens than I think some of our entrepreneurs think of, as a background.
Yeah.
Well, what's really interesting is that most of the skills are remarkably transferable. Starting with research, you want to be an effective entrepreneur. You have to know your facts and figures. It doesn't matter what kind of business you're building. It can be beauty, food, fashion, tech. It doesn't matter. You have to have the hard data to start with.
Yes.
And that's important. So research skills were very, very critical to building the business. Writing. Everybody says to me, do you miss writing as a reporter? I say, I write every day. I write every day. I write blogs for the website. I write product descriptions. I write speeches.
I was going to say, you're building your brand, right?
Building your brand. And the other thing that really helped was, as a reporter, you need quick, clear thinking. And you have to be able to tell a story for people that may not be there first person. So you're the professional spectator that's there for them. So that really helped me because I kind of look at every dress as a story. When I design a dress, it always has a story. Why am I designing this dress? Who is it for? Where will it go?
So wait a minute. Now you're designing? You went from manufacturing to now
No, she went from distribution
to manufacturing and now designing. Wow. Okay.
So
evolution.
I always say, every dress has a story, and that's how I approach it, which, of course, is the same thing. And then a website is basically like a newspaper. You have a headline, an image, a caption, and a link is just a jump to another page. So that really helped. Excuse me. And the other thing that was so important, and I think gets thrown aside too quickly in business, is meeting deadlines.
Oh, that's really important.
It's so important, and I am astounded at how sloppy people can be in business about time management. And sometimes I think it's disrespectful because one thing leads to another, and if this doesn't happen, then that can't happen, then this can't happen.
So that discipline was...
So the discipline, at the paper, tomorrow's paper can't come the day after tomorrow.
It can't even come an hour after.
But certain parts of the Sunday paper can come on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's another segment too.
But it really helped because special occasions only happen once.
Right.
You don't get a second chance at a wedding date, at a prom date. You have to have that dress there for her to wear that night or that day.
So for your business, because it revolves around special occasions and prom and all of that, do you see a cyclic impact on your business from a profitability standpoint?
Well, yes. Our profits come in first and second quarter. Whereas many businesses are, particularly fourth, maybe third. We're selling third and fourth, and we're creating the product and then selling, and our lead time is very far out. We're done. We just wrapped up sampling for spring 2019.
So you can already tell us what the trends and the hot things are.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so quickly, what colors should we be looking for?
In 2019.
2019, the interesting color could be charcoal, like a pewter for evening.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Not really silver, a little darker.
Wow.
Could be very interesting.
Because that looks good on curvy, too.
Yeah.
That looks real good versus... I'm in a wedding coming up in the next few months, and the color is not charcoal.
So, we don't always get that choice, right?
No.
I just wanted to say something else about the skills that transferred so well was the ability to ask a lot of questions. So many times when I'm in the business world now, people say, you ask such good questions, and I say jokingly, I used to get paid to do that. But really, I can't emphasize enough the importance of it. It's okay if you don't know it. I went to my first trade show when I was first looking to buy dresses. It was in Las Vegas. It was enormous, cavernous convention center, and I get to the first of 100 aisles and the first booth, and I say, I want to buy something right away, of course.
Of course.
And then she says, well, do you have a PO number? Well, I didn't even know what a PO was. I didn't know it was a purchase order.
Right.
So, like we've told everybody, you've got to learn the language. So there's the language of entrepreneurship. There's the language of your industry. There's all the nuances. And even your research really led you probably in ways that you wouldn't have expected initially and prompted you to ask new questions along the way.
All the time. I think you can never stop asking questions. I think that's a fatal mistake. And
you have two types important customer, the actual person that's going to wear your product, right? And then the customer that's buying your product, right? Because are you going direct, or you're still selling into stores or bridal salons, things like that, right?
We're a hybrid. We started out 100% business to consumer, and after we started manufacturing our own, which we really did for ourselves, we had no intention of selling it. Stores started asking us, could they buy it? They saw it on the internet. So today, 85% of our business is wholesale.
Wow.
We sell to 350 stores and bridal salons and websites in the U.S., Canada, UK, Ireland, Europe, the Caribbean. So we're really global. And only 15% of our business is direct to the consumer.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, have you seen any in the fashion industry itself, and since you're a global company, there are trends, I'm assuming, in fashion that are very different from the U.S., that play differently in Europe. How do you keep up with all of that?
Well, I keep up with it by spending a little time wherever we're selling. It's very important to be on the ground, and you can read the research, you can read the reports, but I talk to the customers, I talk to the end-use customers, and I talk to all the stores we sell to. So I spend time in the UK, and I spend time visiting our largest, one of our largest stores is in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and it's strictly a plus-size bridal salon. So they're extremely
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Strictly.
I know. That's exciting,
actually. That is very cool.
We have several here in the U.S., including Bombshell Bridal in Detroit that's amazing.
Oh, wow. We might need to renew our vows. Go shopping.
I know where you can find a dress.
There we go.
There you go. Oh, my gosh. So the industry now sees plus-size women, and they need to change that term because, it's really offensive.
Right. I think it's so offensive that I call the other sizes minus sizes. If they're going to call us plus, I'm calling them minus.
There we go. Subpar sizes.
But it's interesting how Versace is rethinking, because I think a lot of them understand that you are losing profit from a whole audience of people that you've just written off. Right. So, how's the industry looking at these sizes now?
Well, the industry's looking at it. Some of it is just kind of token marketing to say, we're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it. In our case, it's our business. If we don't do it, we're out of business. It's not. It is our. It's all we do. We're exclusively plus size special occasion dresses. So it gives us authority and it gives us expertise. Other people, it's very difficult to design for the plus size body and consistently get the fit. Because as the fabrics change, the pattern has to change. And it requires a lot more detail on the construction. And a lot of times they don't want to put that effort into it. They'd rather focus on the minus sizes.
Sure.
And also there's great prejudice. There's even though we've come a long way, there's still prejudice where certain brands don't want to be associated with curvy women. And,
wow.
Or they'll say somebody that's a 14 or 12 is curvy, which is a joke.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've built your business from literally doing fulfillment out of your home,
right,
while holding down a full-time job. And today you're international. What's on the horizon for you?
Yeah.
How do you continue to grow as an entrepreneur?
Well, I continue to grow by doing some of the things I talked about here. At the same time, I'm trying to execute well today. I'm always looking at tomorrow. I'm always looking at the future. Everything's changing so quickly. Fashion's changing.
Yes.
The consumer behavior's changing. Technology's changing. This all affects what we do as a business. And our goal is to reach more women, to help more women. You know, we size up Glamour, and we believe we've only touched less than 1% of all the women that we can help. 99% probably don't know we exist yet.
Wow.
So the opportunity is there for us to take those tears out of even more women. So that's what we're trying to do. We just launched in February on JCPenney. Selling on their website. It's going very well. So we're going to be expanding at their request, we're going to be expanding the offerings on their site.
Fantastic.
And, you know, we'll be reaching out to more stores, to more brick and mortar stores, because so many women still want to go in.
Yes. Because if you are a plus size, you got to see it on because of just the same things that you described. It might not fit well. The fabric is different. Yada, yada, yada.
Does your daughter continue to be an inspiration for you?
My daughter is now in the business. She was a high school Spanish teacher, and we convinced her to come into the business, and she's the one day to day that manages the more than 300 wholesale accounts.
Oh, wow.
That's fantastic.
And because of her Spanish,
she has all the bona fides she needs to be able to do international business.
So important.
Do you see a lot of competition coming into your space with other companies coming up and recognizing this is a gold mine?
We see people nibbling at the market share. We see people nibbling at it. In terms of prom designers, we still remain the only one that does exclusively plus size.
Wow.
So that has earned the respect and attention of many of the shopkeepers. So we stand out there for, like I said, for our expertise and our authority.
And it's not the granny type prom dresses.
No,
these are the trendy, you know.
Well, here's the biggest compliment. First of all, my fashion mantra is no more moo-moos.
I love
no
it.
more moo-moos. And then, the biggest compliment I can get is when a size 2 or 0 or 00 asks if that comes in her size. That's when you know you've won the fashion war.
That's exciting.
Great. Oh, my gosh.
Well, you know, our time together always goes so fast.
Always so fast.
So one of the things we would love is just, as you think of other entrepreneurs, the average age of our entrepreneurs we see in our program is 40, and they're almost always working a full-time job. So based on your experience, are there a few other words of wisdom you'd like to share before our time together is over?
You know, do something that you have a passion for, or find a need going unmet. You know, when that happens, a light bulb will go off. And do something for which you will not give up easily. You know, determination, tenacity, and a very clear vision are critical for success. And just be ready to have the fortitude and staying power so that you can overcome all the inevitable challenges and obstacles you're going to face.
That's great.
Those are wonderful words of wisdom, and we can't thank you enough for taking time from your empire, because frankly, she has built an empire, to be with us. And again, as plus size women ourselves, or what are we calling them now? Curvy. Yes. We are not minus size women.
And we are not size 40s either. We're average size women, right?
They know what we look like. Our followers come to our website.
Really? That's why I hate that.
As women in the demographic, thank you for providing us with more beautiful dresses and opportunities to feel beautiful and sexy and all the things everybody wants to feel when they get dressed up.
No more moo-moos.
No more moos. And thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Changing the way you view new ventures, igniting your thinking about entrepreneurship, It's entrepreneurially thinking. Get connected and discover more. Visit our website for show notes, resources, information about our guests, upcoming events, and of course, all your favorite episodes. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them for us in the comment sections, and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes. The best way to show love is to share. Let everybody know that you're thinking entrepreneurially. So visit our website, entrepreneuriallythinking.com. #ETHINKSTL. Entrepreneurially Thinking is another positive production of Rare Gem Productions. Thanks for listening.